This video continues to look at sort of like the back and forth between the federal and state governments throughout American history. We're now looking at the 1830 to 1910 time period. This is often referred to as an era of dual federalism, or to be honest, it's sometimes just better known as layer cake federalism. So it's kind of a weird thing. The College Board uses cake as a metaphor, but if you think about it, you cut open cake that's layered, and you can see like what's icing, what's cake, and it's easy to see which is which. So this is often a time period that's called layer cake federalism or dual federalism because we can kind of clearly see what's a national government power and what's a state power, and like there's like separate realms. This is an era in which the states begin to reclaim some of their power from the national government that they felt like they lost at the beginning of our country's history. And what you begin to see are Supreme Court cases that emphasize states' rights and giving states the ability to make decisions. So, for example, the 1857 case of Dred Scott v. Sanford basically invalidated that green line that you see down here on the map. I don't know how much you remember about American history, but at one point, the Missouri Compromise basically drew that green line on a map and said that any future state that would come in above that line would have to come in as a free state, and states below it could come in as slave states. The Supreme Court decision in 1857, Dred Scott v. Sanford, basically invalidates that line and basically says that the federal government can't determine the slavery status of a state for that state itself, that's a state by state decision. You can't arbitrarily draw a line on the map. So that gives states, regardless of your position on the map, the ability to decide for yourself if you want to be a free state or a slave state. Or in the case of Plessy versus Ferguson in 1896, which basically allows states to establish their own laws that basically put into place like segregation, and establishes the principle of separate but equal. That'll be in effect for about the next 60 years in American history, that if states want to authorize segregation, the federal government can't stop that from happening. So these are two unfortunate decisions, but they basically bolster states' rights, the ability of states to make decisions for themselves without interference from the federal government. So layer cake federalism, again, is dual federalism, and that's era of like states reclaiming power from the national government. This is an era of state power.